Hello, this is Digi Qualia, and today we have a very special guest, Angel Ramiro Sanchez. Now Ramiro, you're not yet 40, and yet your work hangs in collections in the United States, Canada, Venezuela, Europe. Your work has already been the subject of a monograph by the international arts critic John T. Spike. In 2003, you won the Director's Award at the Florence International Biennale of Contemporary Art. Soon after, you exhibited as a guest artist in Austria's Biennale, and just 2 years ago, the Stellini Foundation presented your retrospective work of art. And I believe that you've held the position as senior painting instructor at the Florence Academy of Art for 16 years. Where did this extraordinary journey begin?
Well, I would say that I was very fortunate that my parents, I want to say, had the vision somehow to put my brother and I into the Niños Cantores de Zulia. It was a quite special school.
In Venezuela?
In Venezuela, Maracaibo, Venezuela, where I was born. I got there when I was 6 years old, and at the time I didn't know how lucky I was. And later on, obviously, growing up, you realize what your parents can do for you. It was a school based on music talent. In fact, it was a school based on music with a choir. Most of my days were music, reading music and singing, and also normal academic studies. And there I met my first painting teacher who was working in mural commissions for the school, because he was a preschool. He was doing huge, big drawings and mural work and mosaic designs, and I was 14. And I just thought, like, wow, this is what I want to do. I was struck.
And so upon finishing your apprenticeship, you sought further training in Italy?
Yes, so eventually, what was my teacher, Abdon, who put in my head the idea that you must go to Europe. You must go up to Europe if you really want to make yourself a painter. Yes. And working and studying, I had the fortune that the Niños Cantores de Zulia, Monsignor Ocando, believed in me and gave me the opportunity and put me on an airplane and said, okay, off to Florence to study at the Accademia di Belle Arti of Firenze.
Yes. And, well, I've heard that while you graduated from the Accademia di Belle Arti in Florence with diploma Magna Cum Laude, you were also studying under Daniel Graves.
Yes, while I was doing the exams to be accepted into the Accademia di Belle Arti, I met one of the Florence Academy of Art students at the time. And he saw how I was drawing, how I was preparing my examinations to get in at the Accademia, and he saw what I was doing, and he said, you would love to see where I study, you would love to see what we do, because I can see this is what you want to do. So we talked it out, and he took me to the school. At the time, one small room, 5, 6 students from all over the world. There was like 5, 6 students, but everybody was from somewhere else, different. And I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was seeing people drawing from cast and drawing the figure from life, figure painting, still life painting, paintings that looked like real paintings. And I was like, wow, this is exactly what I was looking for.
It must have been a lot of work studying at both academies.
It was. It definitely occupied my whole day. Plus, on the side, I was doing little jobs to support myself. Yeah. But it was beautiful. I spent a lot of time at the Florence Academy with Daniel Graves. That's where I would say I spend most of the times. Yeah.
And I understand you're still busy. Is it difficult to maintain a healthy work and play relationship whilst juggling your work here as a principal drawing instructor, commissions, personal projects, friends, family, your love of music?
It's a full day. It's definitely a full day. I wake up, and I only teach at the school on Mondays at the Porta Romana studio. But today now the Florence Academy of Art has over 100 students, and I just teach the advanced painting. Big jump from how we started. And so I do that on Mondays, and then the rest of the week I'll come to my studio. I'll arrive in the morning, and when the sun is down, gets dark, I'll go home. I try to fit a little of 45 minutes, an hour of practice on my viola if I have the time. And then I talk to my wife about her work. My wife, Melissa, is a painter as well.
I believe that you and Melissa have been working on a portrait together.
Yes, she for the last month or so, she's been coming to my studio, and we have sit for each other or stand So I stand for 20 minutes,
Yes.
and she paints me, and then on the same canvas, I will then start painting her portrait while she's sitting for me or standing. We're both standing, yes.
And you know other couples, artistic couples, who've done this before?
Yes, I do. I think in the 19th century, there were many couples that were wife and husband that were painters, and they did, a couple of them did it, and I know of one contemporary couple that did it as well, yes.
Although, did any of them have their dogs in the same room?
Well, I don't know that, but Maya, our dog, yes, she came every day, and but she's quite studio dog. She knows how to behave, how to move around the studio, and she knows exactly when we're working, and definitely knows when the break is on.
Now, your first significant portrait commission was of an actress in the off-Broadway production of The Countess in 2001. Your approach in such commissions, do they vary when painting a friend?
Well, yes, certainly it's different. Painting a portrait commission carries another game of expectations that painting a friend does not have. A client, you want to paint the image that they're looking for. Imagine a husband commissioning a portrait of his wife, the love that he has and all of that, and you want to meet that expectation, you want them to be happy. Obviously, you don't see his wife the way that he sees her, so that puts a lot of pressure on you. At the same time, I always try to think of all the portraits that are in museums, that most of them from the past, that there were portrait commissions, and we see them as outstanding works of art, and you want to do that as well. So yeah, it's quite a big work. Painting a friend is always a joy to hang out with your friend, and painting your wife is probably the best portrait experience you can have.
Yes. Although I'm sure the great artists of the past had to flatter the sitters. Do you tend to be nice to your portrait sitters?
I try to be a nice person in general. I try to be nice in many aspects of my life. Yes.
Now, in your studio, I can see many other works of art. I can see a still life, figure fragments, and here we have behind you a woman from a series of women, I believe. Where do you find inspiration for each persona?
Well, in this specific series you're talking about is a series about emotions, I would say. Emotion of the kiss, emotion of the magic in this case, of dream world, pure love. And the inspiration for this, everything comes from nature and from the experiences that you have with nature. But in this specific case, I think I'm working with what resonates inside of me after this experience. I know I'm not, the most experiment painter and not the most lived person in the world, but I'm starting to listen to myself lately and trying to, paint. I think a lot of that comes inside, very introspective. And this, I would say, is the most introspective series of work that I've ever put myself to work.
And so what can we expect from you next?
What next? Well, certainly this series is still ongoing. I'll have a break right now, go to the United States and exhibit my work. With Melissa, we have a two-man show with my wife, which is great. First time ever. So we'll do this show.
In the Hamptons?
In the Hamptons at the Granite Gallery.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes. It's a great place. Beautiful. It's beautiful there. So that's good. And we've been going and painting there for many years, more than 10 years. So it's a great summer break. And then come back to Florence, and with this painting, I haven't put hands on it for 3 years or so. Wow. So I have my idea September. I know exactly what I want to do on it. So I can't wait for that. I want to paint on it, a couple of figures I want to work on in September. And then in October, I continue my series of
How many women are in this series altogether?
Well, right now I'm just doing the female part, but there will also be, there will be a kiss, so there will be a male and a female, and then there will be a male older man wanderer.
Yes.
So I would like to do 6.
6. Only one male?
I think right now it's just one, one male.
One male.
Maybe 2, because there will be passion as well, and the passion will probably be a male figure as well. Yes.
What lucky men surrounded by so many women.
Yes, they are. good. Something that I would like to work on again is my religious work. It's something that I've been doing all my career. 2 years ago, I finished my A tu lado quiero estar, by your side. I want to be based on the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, and it was beautiful and exciting to put myself. I said, okay, if the crucifixion of Christ is the most painted image ever, what would I do? What would somebody would do today that is, I don't want to say just new, but what else can you say about it? So I did that, I did my picture. So I would like to give myself another challenge like that.
Perhaps in fresco?
Perhaps in fresco. Would love to do also mosaic designs, stained glasses designs. I would love to work, been working on some of that. But perhaps also in music, a musical theme, maybe Beethoven.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, lovely.
Or Mahler. I can't decide, Beethoven or Mahler.
Music plays a strong part in your life.
Yeah, it does,
today.
and it's a big part of my inspiration. It takes a big part of my thoughts and emotion all day long. Yes, it's a big companion. I always say this, probably it's not true, but if I would be born again, I would probably pay more attention and with more discipline on my early musical studies, and probably would like to be a musician.
No.
But I'm a painter, yes.
No, you're a painter.
I know. I just always think that way. But how I said, your neighbor's lawn is always greener, right?
Always, the grass is always greener on the other side.
Yes.
But Ramiro, please, with this much talent, don't stop painting.
No, not now. On my second life. Yes. But it's beautiful, like they say, find a job you like and spend the rest of your life
You never work a day in your life.
enjoying it, Yeah, I never work a day in life, that's how they say it. So I feel like that, yes. It's beautiful.
And so, Ramiro, are any of your paintings actually inspired by the music you so love?
Oh yes, I think, music is definitely a driving force for my work. It's always present on me when I'm painting, when I'm putting a brushstroke, when I'm making a line. I would say the first time I start thinking about sound and how I could paint sound, and was when I tried to do a picture called What the Thunder Said. And that was a challenge that I gave to myself. Okay, let's see if I can paint thunder, which is a sound. And I don't know how successful the whole thing was, but it was a great experience, and it was the beginning of it. Maybe the most musical picture that I've done, inspired, based, driven by music, was A tu lado quiero estar, the painting about the suffering of the Mother of God at the bottom of the cross. And there is the famous Stabat Mater by Pergolesi, where in fact the title of the painting comes from. And then I think also the Mahler Kindertotenlieder, the songs for the death of children, were very present on my mind and on my feelings while I was doing the picture. But yeah, right, like I said, I would really like to do another musical painting. Although every time that I draw or do a brushstroke, place a brushstrokes on the canvas, I always think of them of a musical line or a musical accent or a rhythmical movement. So yes, music is always
in your work.
yeah.
Perhaps a recurring theme between every painting.
I would say so, yes, definitely.
Thank you, Ramiro, for being with us today. We will follow your career with great interest.
Thank you to all of you.